Actually, I had to borrow from somebody. I had beautiful stuff from him. I can start? What do I do now? I should start talking. I'm ready to roll. Thank you so much. B'nai Shalom. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Rabbi Yosef Yafi. Thank you, Kavash Kachem Protius. Thank you, Kaloloshin. Thank you, Torah Anytime. Today was the yahrzeit of Reb Gershon, Reb Chaim Avram. I want to dedicate everything going on here to him. In Novhardok, they didn't, more serious world. They were not so much involved. I want to thank what my Elam is bringing me. I'm number one. It's unbelievable. And by me, it's Shchinim B'Daberes B'Ter Greinai. I don't work like the rest of the world, where they say, you do that to everybody, you do that. I don't go for that stuff. None of that. Any kind of positive gesture coming my way is Shechina, the Eibishter, and nothing more, nothing less. That's what I believe. You can do what you like, but that's my derech. If any criticism comes my way, he doesn't feel good today. Tomorrow he'll straighten out. Criticism, me, a Muslim like me, how could that be? How could that be a Muslim? I want to tell you, Rabbi Isai, if you go my derech, you're going against your bad midos. Do it, unless the other way makes you steig more. Some people like to tell me off, I'll change, I'll get better. There's a makom for that, plenty, but everybody's different. I want to introduce the Elam to my way of thinking. I believe in it very stark. A person has no idea of his greatness. Whatever you're going to tell me how great I am, I told you my Adam once called me up. Or if you don't know what they're saying about you, I says, don't believe a word. I'm much better than whatever they say. That's what I told him. He laughed. I said, for the laugh alone, it's kedai. But the MS is, that's the way this day and age, go for it. I have a scummers from every guddle in the world. They love my stuff. I check this out in the Nobhardok, Slobodkin, rest of anywhere. They're behind me, all of them. They know the matzav. You got to be mechazik yourself before anyone else. First comes me, chayecha kaidman. Don't worry so much about but what about me? Anyway, you have to be mechazik yourself, then the world will have so much more from you. Doesn't look like Mordechai had any problems with self-esteem. Doesn't look like it. Haman was a big problem with self-esteem. Mordechai, by the way, you really want self-esteem? Throw yourself out for the public. Care for Klal Yisrael. See, Haman, he likes me, he doesn't like me. That's why I put in my hat that I'm the Rashka Bahad. Why? I still have the hat. Why did I do that? Because it's a done deal. I paskin, that's the matzah. Now, I don't have to go around begging for covet from all my friends. I know, I'm fine. I don't need it. And if I get it, I'll believe it too. Don't worry. If you say something nice, it's another raya how great I am. But you know what? Unfortunately, Haman was living from outside of him. He wasn't secure. He didn't feel good about it. He didn't learn Musa every day, reminding himself all the milas he had. It's such a shud. When people go, a guy, you think a guy, you know what they could be. There were Gerim among them. They're great people. What's such a rachmanis? All midas rise kills them all the way. Now he's going to go to war because this and that. It's all midas. Be happy. Be sameach b'chelkai. Esav, the whole problem with Esav is you took my b'chayri. The Eibishter loves everybody. But Tzal was the number one. Ahaliah Shevet, Yehuda. Ahaliah was the Yerud Shebeshvatim. And they worked together like we're all the same. What's wrong with being Yerud? I'm Mr. Nobody. It doesn't mean anything. It means I'm working on a different level and avoid the Hashem. But we're all the same. The Mayam Loy says all the Shvatim are equal. They're all equal. Yes, so you're getting more covered. I'm probably luckier than you because you're the guy who's never getting all that covered. You know how much tourists we had from big people? Okay, we'll stop on midbos. Now, it's going to be Lebanon over there. We stop by mid, by the way. Right away, who are the Katsine making trouble, and Kairach making trouble, Meraglim. These people are Bali Recha Kodesh out. They're biggest of the big. And they never have more, they're dead of trouble. You want to be big. It's not so simple. It's fine. Be happy. So let the guy who gets covered, it's a problem when you're getting covered. You think it's so push-it. You envy. You know what they told me in Novandik? When you envy that big Rosh Hashiva, you are envying nothing more but the cover that he gets. Because he got the Kedusha, and you want that too. You don't chap that all this, even in Ruchnius, all the envy, he has a nicer family than me. His wife is a tzadikis, and the Mechaberim, they see what they said about him. By the way, Novandik, when the Mechabed, Rabbi Shul Meyer is quoted as having said, he can't be masig honoring. Rabbaran's famous, Rabbaran Kavod, they wanted to honor him. He said, do me a favor, just this bizyonis don't give me. That's what they say. It's ridiculous. You have to do it. Chas v'sholom. Rav Shimon encourage people to honoring you. It's a mitzvah. Do it. It's but between you and me, it's ludicrous. He's this and he's that. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on 1 second. If he needs an ego boost and he believes everything they're saying, then that's a whole it's an engine. Go for it. Get honored. That's a total different story. If you need chizuk, I prefer give yourself chizuk. Hold from yourself. Take compliments seriously. I am number one. See what's going on? No, I'm not going to be jealous. I'm not going to make people crazy of all the time is. I'm not going to, I'll be nice to my wife because I feel good. You're number one. Ooh. If I'm the regular guy like today where they make fun of everything, like a mullik is mezalzel. I'm nothing, you're nothing. It's all baloney. That's the way they work. That's the whole tzara, the known for zilzel. So I say, I'm still the same grouch as I was a minute ago. But if I take it serious, you're number one. Now I'm a different person. What do you say to that? There's a book out against compliments, by the way. Some people hate it. I can't handle it. And it's true. You're careful sometimes. You can't. Certain people get turned off by compliments. All right. But if you're a tamim like me, take them serious and be a happy person. Now, Reb Gershon, Reb Chaim Avram should have a lichtige Gan Eden. He hated covet with a passion. He loved the Eibishter, he hated covet. He was in a different world. He was so full of simcha. In the concentration camp, he found himself a machsan, a little corner there, a storage room, and there he parked himself in the concentration camp. He parked himself, this is my yeshiva, my makam abdidus. And he used to learn. He used to daven b'kol ram. Don't ask me how that happened. I do know stories. The Bradigas, they said it on him also. What's his name? Shalom Keba. He was a Reish Vad in Pinsk. B'kol ram. In front of the Russians, I think he was in Siberia. He was singing Simchas Torah Begunim. Altirim Pachat Pisayim. B'kol ram. B'kol ram. And the guy who tells the story, he was a Yid, he was standing on line by the apple, or by whatever, they're counting everybody, and he was having a heart attack. This guy's mamish, like he's going to get killed. What does he think he's doing? He's singing Altirim Pachat Pisayim. That's what he's doing in the middle of it. You know who's you're standing next to, you know what's going on here. And he kept on going. B'kol ram, he was singing Simchas Torah Negunim. And finally, the guy came to him, the guy in charge, and he says, "Get into the line," and he totally ignored him. I'm in the middle of singing. Don't tell me what to do. That's the story. You want to read it? It's unbelievable. The stories are Shul Weintraub. They have it in there. I knew people who knew him. His face is lichtig. Shalom Keber, his name was. He was a Rosh Havad in Pinsk. Tzaddik Yesei Dolam. And he spent his whole... And finally the guy left him. He left him alone. Didn't touch him. So a person who has bטחון, you know, if you... Mordechai saw Haman hanging from day one. You're not an entity in my world. He took one look at him. He looks like he owns the world. And he had... You know, they walk like this? Aloof. Do you ever hear the word aloof? It's an English word. Guess where they got it from? Aloof. You know, all the B'nai Esav, aloof. You ever see the Germans, the way they, you know, you see pictures with the goose step? They're up there, you know. They don't have, it's a postage to look down. Yesh Oimrim, that Haman never looked down. When Mordechai didn't bow down, he didn't notice it. They had to tell him. Because it didn't pass for him to look and see the people. He was up there, you know. That's the way. So he was aloof, and that's where the English word aloof comes from. And and he didn't even notice. They had to tell him, look what Mordechai's doing. And Mordechai farfed him on. He had a jambo. That's a metal piece on your foot. And written on there what jambo was, I, Haman, have sold myself to Mordechai as a slave. And he kept passing him by, picking up the jambo. Babala, remember? Remember you were sold? Yeah, I didn't forget. Don't. Oh, how dare you? Huffing and puffing. You ever see these Teutonic? Teutonic means German. You ever see this Teutonic? These German guys with their stolz, their gaius. Oh. How dare you do that? You know, they're so into covet. You know, you take that from him. Guess where that comes from? Chaim Halpern used to tell me that Musar is, say hypach of that stuff. You take that. Yes, you take that from him. You know, Rabbi Nassim once told somebody. He said, so pretty much Rabbi Sosalanta said, if you can't get along with a shade, then you become a shade yourself. So he wants, so somebody asked, did you mean to say that my wife should step all over me? I forgot what it was exactly. Nusach. Rabbi Nassim said, yes, that's exactly what I mean. You know, I saw my Rabbi, he did it with us. He loved it because he was taught. That's the way it works. Yes. I am a shmata. That's the I love it. I'm a shmata. You're not a shmata. You're out of it. People who don't know how to bend and to give in, they end up hanging like Haman. They can't bend. They can't give in. They got to be right. They got to be this. How dare you say that? And the whole Megillah is covered. Redifas are covered. How it's sent. You know that Chaim Mordechai Weintraub said about Vashti. You know what he said? If she would have been Makabel B'Zyanis, she would have had a kapara and she would have been saved. But no, how dare you do that? Boom, she wasn't Makabel B'Zyanis. Yeshemrim, she was decapitated. Yeshemrim, she was burned alive. But either way, then she hakavit, and why was B'Chamosai Baravai? It says Achashverosh is double lashon. He got angry. He was fuming. His covet. My covet is at stake. You don't do that to me. For that, burn you alive. No, there you go. And covet. He loved covet. He was, Barai says, showing off. Show off. You show off, you're going to end up killing your wife. The whole lesson of the whole Megillah is, stop looking for covet. It's going to kill you. And Haman, Mordechai, one Mordechai doesn't bow down. I'm dead. I can't handle it. It's too much. I can't. You know, we talk like that. We all do. I can't handle it. I get such busyness. Do you ever hear anyone talk like that? Who doesn't? I can't handle it. I can't. Now, I'm lucky that the other day I had some busyness. And lucky I said, look, covered. In a certain, where I usually get covered, here I got busyness. And I knew exactly why. It was Reb Gershon's Yotzai. Reb Gershon's Yotzai, that's his matana from Shemayim to me. Reb Gershon is sending me a free gift. Some bezyonis. It's not a joke. If you learn, you have a religion that believes in bezyonis, you're going to be so much happier. Oh, I got bezyonis. That's great. And look at Mordechai and Esther, how different they are. Esther does not want to have, oh, I look good. Don't bother me with that silly stuff. Oh, you're fast toya. No. What do I care about? Goyim. They're in their own world. She wasn't interested. She was hiding. Well, with a shegitz like a chashverish, Stam, you can't blame her. But she didn't ask for anything. There's a lesson going on here. Don't give me, don't put me, don't bother me. She had no tolerance for what the whole world is. We have to make an impression. The house has to look beautiful. Okay, you have to be a mentor. We know that. But she was not into that whole business. She couldn't stand covet. She had a Rebbe, Mordechai, who was a Rosh Sanhedrin. Thank you so much. And the Sainik, okay, time for a reload, as usual. Lately my phones have a special schooler. They stop in the middle. They stop in the middle. Reb Gershon taught me how to laugh at things like this. I hang around them. Whenever something goes wrong, they crack up. Isn't that a better way to deal with it? You crack up. Oh, phone's not working. Laugh. You want to cry? Go cry. But, never. What I go through, when people have to do things for me and they forget, they don't this, what am I supposed to do? My covet's at stake. I asked you and you didn't do it. I saw Garach, there was a store in Lakewood, a pharmacy, some kind of, I think it was a pharmacy, way back. No one here has any shaykhs. There was a guy, they think it was a Yidl Nabachnara from Yid, and the orders didn't come on time. He went berserk. He was on the phone screaming. He was going, and his kids were there, teenage kids. They were all embarrassed of him. He's screaming. He couldn't control his temper. He was gone. He wouldn't last long, And that lifestyle where everything has to go your way. Yeshuot. You want to last in this world? Give in. I'm wrong. So what? Don't forget relationships. Don't worry so much about relationships. Oh, but I said so to this guy, that guy. Listen to me. You can change relationships overnight. Just have bטחון. Don't be nispoil about a sour relationship. I was responsible several times, at least 3-4 times that I remember, where family members were on the outs with each other, and overnight it turned around. I gave a bracha within 24 hours. A few cases I had, sure. But in my own life, I do these things all the time. I said something wrong. I have people today that I wasn't always so good with them. Oh no. Today, it's a different world. Don't be so spoiled. You didn't make it, so tomorrow your best friends, and your wife included. You'll get along with her too. You wait. Just don't be so spoiled of a relationship didn't work. I said the wrong thing. Anyway, that's the whole lesson in Megillah. You don't take this out. In a Vardig, the whole thing is you have to be like Mordechai Viesta. Mordechai's walking in the middle of the street, screaming B'kol Ram. I saw Reb Gershon do that. He took Mordechai serious. He came here to Lakewood. I remember he was crying. He was an old man, and he wasn't talking. And coming here, he was had a special car because he couldn't even come out. He was in a wheelchair already. What the Nazis did to him, finally caught up in his late years. He had a lot of Yisurim. But he used to sit in his wheelchair like this. And when they wheeled him around, he used to pick up his feet like a kid is going on a wheel, like a ride. And he had a swivel chair. He'd sit up front in the base bench, and he used to go back and forth, like swivel, like you ever see a kid? He used to do that all the time. Why not? So no, you don't do that. Why not? Why don't you do that? He used to do a lot of these things. And why not? He was once standing online with Gershon in Eretz Yisrael. Famous story. I wasn't there. What really happened, what they say happened, but whatever. There was boiling hot, and all the reshivas, everybody, you needed to eat something cold, and they had an ice cream stand. So all the Rosh Yeshivas, all the Shena Yidden with the frocks, and who wore the Shena, were standing there like turning colors online. That's the way I heard the story. Standing to wait to buy the glida, to get some glida on a boiling hot day. And Rabbi Gershon's in the back of the line, and he gives a scream, the whole place should hear, Shtei glidot bevakasha, mit der Stolz. You eat ice cream with a Stolz. Don't say, Eat, enjoy. What's wrong? Enjoy. He was very much like that. Be normal, Hashem Yerachem. Nobody is not normal. They're the only normal people still around. Find any normal people. Mordechai was normal. The whole shita of Nobhardok. Mordechai is big. They spent this whole tkufa. Mordechai screaming in the middle of in Lakewood. Reb Gershon used to scream like an old man who's never senile. Reb David Shistel and Reb Heinz, a few people, the big man said, I don't believe in this whole business. He is not senile. I see it in his eyes. He's an Oived Hashem who packed thousands of people wanting to see him, and suddenly, he starts crying. He did this. He used to do it. He usually had a reason. When he was in New York, Weinkrantz walked in, so he remembered, the memories of the past. He always had. He didn't just do it. He had a reason, but he made sure that the Elam should have a clear impression. I am over the hill. I'm good and senile, and it's done. That's for sure. But there's no something. He was aiming at that because as soon as he came back to France, he stopped it because it looked like it was a different world. And then he used to say, "Viberich" when he was in France. I'm in Lakewood now? Where am I? You never know what was real, what was not real with him. I know one might say he was by what's his name? He was in somebody's house here in Lakewood. Somebody took him in. I was involved over there. And Rabban Kreiser pushed me to bring him to Lakewood. They got to see this man. There's a tzaddik ador. Anyway, so he I forgot, what was I saying? Who? He heard that he's in town. And everybody knew him in Europe. He was a Shem Dava. You all knew Reb Gershon. He was the star of Nobhardok. He was way ahead. In fact, they were afraid for him because he was too much. He had too much pratim. He had all kinds of pratim. He sticked around 24/7. He never stopped. He had to outdo everything. He had a healthy gaiva. I got to be better than everybody. It's exactly what happened. He used the gaiva in a healthy yafin. Rabbonis Yafin, sorry Yafin, they say, stuck up for him because people were saying, is he going to be okay? He ended up on the staff. He was from the Gedolim over there. He was not Shaykh, Reb Gershon. But in his younger years, people were a little worried. And then she smelled that she was brilliant. And the Alta used to be miyayit with her. Sorry Yafin. He used to be miyayit because she was a very, very tzaddik. And she used to stick up for Reb Gershon. You'll see. Well, you know what she once did? Somebody who was known to be probably one of the biggest Torah builders in the world, who nashed from Nobhardok, had enough from what he was going through, trying to build his yeshiva. And he was about to throw in the towel, and she got wind of it. The one who told me the story was Daniel Nekritz. And his bubby told him, go over to that Yid and tell him, I suspect who it is, but for whatever reason they don't want to say his name. Go tell him, a world famous who built Torah like he told her, tell him to come here. So he goes to this Yid who was on the Gedolim pictures. He wasn't a regular person. So she goes to him. He goes to him. And he says, I'm a little busy, I can't do this, and I'm busy. He didn't want to get involved with her. So he comes back to Neil Neck, because he told me the story. He comes back, so he says, he's too busy. Zorgen, he's coming now. You didn't play games with her. Sorry, Yafin? She was the Alta's daughter. She was the real thing. So he came, and she let him have it. She said, do you know what Zika Rabim is? Get ready to chew nails. That's the way it goes. You go and you'll be Matzliach. That's Kolas Cholos coaches don't come. He went and he became from the biggest. There's another story. His name was Shulman. Him I knew. I knew the other one also, but who I suspected was. Shulman had built the yeshiva and he had enough. And Came back to learn. He was a major Talmud Chacham, a Masbid, a Ben Teira. Back to Beyalsik to learn. She found out about it. She said, Zog Shulman to come to me. Shulman came to her and she said, you're going right back out to build yeshivas. The Ika Shita for Navadiga Zika Rabbi, you're going to go now and steigen learning. Zaymigazun Arois. He built 11 yeshivas. He showed me pictures of them. One of them was in Petrikov. There's a picture with him, with the Rav's son over there. He was a power. He got brachas from the Ger. Ger was very good in the body. Anyway, she was all right. Anyway, getting back to the Geshem. Malcha, what?
He was in someone's house in Malikud, you know what I'm saying?
Who? Yeah, Reb Geshem was by Parnas's house. By Parnas's house. I was the gabbai. Boy, what I saw. I want to tell you something, what I saw. It's good to hear this. I saw people I knew for years, whom I looked at. You know, he's got it all. You ever see those? Look at his lawn, his rebbetzim, with the kids, and they're all mitziyanim. You know, I said one after another. I saw a lot of those guys. And since I was the gabbai, they had to tell me what's going on. I went berserk. Do you know what's going on? You should hear the stories that I heard. I learned something from being a gabbai. People opened up. And I saw the way they cried to Reb Gershon, I saw, you know, the dimyon, nice. They kill you. Look at him. You know how many Nebuch women, they go and have no children. They see their friends already going baby carriage. Baby carriage. And they don't know what's behind that baby carriage. About what the churban that's going on between the shalom bayis or whatever. They don't know. All they know is everyone's luckier than me. I tied it like this. You were born to kvetch. Yetzer leib adam ram and urav. I believe Reb Chaim Bolozhin says this. He says, ram and urav means that you kvetch. This is bad, that's bad, everything's no good. That's the nature of a person. You're born with the lust for kvetching. Everybody don't chop it. They don't know themselves. You're born now to shows. What should it be chal on? My lust for kvetching. Let's try this. Let's try that. And don't worry. The more you like it, the more you get it. But I know people that are always, now this went wrong, that went wrong. There's always some. We all have that to degrees. There's different madregas. But people don't chop. The ratzon to kvetch is, wait, you don't even know you had it. Things were good when you were young, and now suddenly everything, boom. And I can't handle it. And again, they don't chop. There's a ratzon to be dissatisfied. You were created to work on that and go to war. And go to the extreme opposite. I'm the luckiest person in the world. Look how Mordechai has now. Where's his friends? By the way, Haman's popular. Whereas Mordechai is unpopular, right? He doesn't need that stuff. By the way, it says Am Mordechai means B'nai Torah. His friends are B'nai Torah. I advise everybody. I try to do it. Hang around B'nai Torah. They are delicious. Just hang around. People will learn. They're a different world. A Ben Torah is a Ben Torah. That's really, although they had tinus on him. You're too much of an asket. You're like Mendel. Mendel talks too much. You're not in learning. Your mamish like Mendel. It's no good. You're too much, Rabbi Mordechai. It was too much. Part of Sanhedrin said, you know. By the way, I want to tell you something. That last shtickle of the Megillah, part of the Sanhedrin, well, because he was not in learning, they had it in for him. You're in Taskonis, come on, not asking. The Blat Gemara, what's not going? I want to tell you something. Now, Rashi is saying something. He's saying two things. He's saying, no matter, I'm not exposed from all your askonis. Loud! And it's true for some people. And for some people, just the opposite is true. Oh, they don't hold true? That's fine. Without you, there's no Purim. The Sanhedrin, you're very nice people, but you bow down to Haman, right? Or you disappeared. You didn't wear my Sanhedrin the way I was. So now you got to Masvidim. You're not worth anything. The whole thing, I have a chi of a Mikra Megillah. I brought the Klal Yisrael thousands of years of Simcha and of Kedusha and of Yehuda Moshe of Simcha of Sazim Yikar. What I brought the Klal Yisrael, what I did. You're not Mordechai. I don't care. You didn't even learn and learn. Keep learning. But I'm Mordechai. You have your Blat Gemara, but you're not Mordechai. You don't come near me. Now listen. You see, I spoke two opposite things. I'm making a chayzik of both directions. Don't bother me, Zika Ram. Daf learning, right? Some people have to hear this, and some people have to hear that. Unfortunately, very, 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 very often, the person that's supposed to go out, it helps from learning, right? And the person that's supposed to learn, it helps from Zika Ram. That's what usually happens. People live with negiyas. The negiyah schlepped by the newest. Like what the Klauselberger Rebbe used to say, the way the wives control the husband. She schlepped him by the newest, you know. She pulls him by his nose, you know. Whatever she has, the negiyah going. You know what they say in Novandik? A negiyah is a going. It's brilliant. Your negiyah, you'll have a million reasons. No. You know, I'm not cut out for going out. No, I tried it once. I got such busyness. It's not for me. Now, if you be in Novandik, you got busyness. Get some more of that stuff. You know, I say like this. You wanna avoid criticism? Say nothing, be nothing, and do nothing. No criticism. A lot of people do that. They spend the whole life. Make sure you don't, and they're good. They keep that comfort zone. And I'm doing okay in my little hole. And the Mordechai, learn from Mordechai. In the Vardik, they said, you want Purim? Learn from a B.A. Mordechai. You're going to dance like a balabas? That's balabatish. That's not for a Ben Torah. Ben Torah is a higher person. And it has to be a Ben Torah. And every yid is Mamlechus Kohanim Gad Kodesh. Every yid has to feel, I'm a soldier. I have to go get higher. I'm not like a regular guy. I have to go higher. So you want to be background music. And you want to tell over a nice pshatlach about Mordechai and about Esther, and another pshat, which grada, I'm heavy into that. It may be too much. If I'd be a real Novandik, I'd be more in working on being a Mordechai. It's a job. Oh boy. You have to learn Musa, you have to be Meisenefesh for the Eibishter. Anyway, Novandik becoming a Mordechai, where the whole Klal Yisrael can't stand him. Before he was perished from learning. They didn't like him because he made trouble. He was unpopular. He was called Yehudi. Yehudi because David from Yehuda saved the Zayd Shimon Megera. I want to tell you, he's connected with David big time. David was the most unpopular person you ever heard of. You know that? You know how many people hated him? You ever read Tanakh? They didn't hold from him. And before the Maisu with Bathsheba, he wasn't Hatsu. And after that, boom, you're off the Arab and Derech, Abamis. You know who didn't hold from him? Rosh Sanhedrin, one after another. Doi, Gachi, Seipel, Shemi ben Gera, Sheva ben Bichri, Avner, Shaul. These are giants. They're not little kids. Ich halt nicht von them. They didn't hold from David. So Mordechai, Yehudi, fits in great with David. They packed the whole world. You don't hold for me? That's fine. We're going to go on. You have the Rabbeinu Shalom. Now look, I don't advise anybody to go that path. It's not. Rabbi Gershon could do it. Rather, everybody held from him. The Satmar loved him. Rabbi, everybody held Rabbi Gershon. But I'm sure here and there he got his criticism for sure. Especially Novandik with a shtick, I didn't. When I saw him, he was on the good list. Everybody, despite his shtick, he once said a shmooze, a beautiful drasha at Rav Moshe Soloveitchik's son's chassan. I heard it from an eyewitness, and it was under the chuppah. They speak by, and us in America went out into that Baruch Hashem. So I talk it up. I have to listen also yet. So they have to sit by a chuppah. Oh wait. Somebody's got to make a drasha, and everyone got to sit there and listen. That's what Chas v'Shalom. It's gewaldig what they do, especially if they ask me to speak. Anyway, but so Reb Gershon was asked to speak, and he spoke, and for some reason something went wrong. He spoke gewaldig, which he never ever did. Whenever he spoke, I promptly fell asleep. He was so boring. He was not, okay, here he goes. He used to stop in the middle, say another word, stop again. I was out cold. I used to blame it on my jet lag, It wasn't jet lag. It only happened when Reb Gershon started speaking. Then I suddenly fell asleep. That was him. You know what else they say was like that? Rabbeinu Finkel had a lot in common, by the way. Even though he was Slabotka, they were both frail, as I mentioned. You know what Rabbeinu Finkel said when he saw somebody running in the base, running around? He used to tell it over all the time. A new Bach, he just came to the mirror, and the Rabbeinu sees him running in the hallway. He says, "What are you running for?" He says, he just came. He says, I want to get away from Rabbeinu shir. I don't want to, be caught over there. So Rabbeinu used to tell her, he didn't know, you're talking to Rabbeinu. You just knew, so you didn't say anything to the guy, but he used to tell over that story to everybody. He was exactly like Rabbi Gershon. They got along. The Yafen, they get along crazy with each other. The Finkel family with the Yafens were Shidduch, Nobhardok and Slobodka, but there was a lot in common, not stum. Anyway, so Mordechai doesn't, they all hate him. And he goes in the middle of the streets and he screams and he takes sackcloth in front of the Shar HaMelech. What are you doing? And he kicks Haman. He kicked him on his neck. You know that? He kicked him. Are you crazy? And what Haman tried to say hello to him. And he was waiting for Mordechai to say hello to him first. So he started walking near him, back and forth, and hoping he'll give him. And Mordechai ignored him completely, and not you. So finally Haman decided, okay, let me say shalom first. So he said, shalom aleichem. So Mordechai turns around, Ein shalom omar Hashem lo rishoyim. That's my opinion of you. This man's dangerous. He's a Mishnah Lamelech. And he's a cutthroat. He's an Amaleki. Yidden was scared of Amaleki more. Amaleki Be'enegev, when they were afraid. You see, it's often a psukim. As soon as they heard the word Amalek, the Meraglim, they just said the word Amalek, the whole Klai was crying. Amalek. You know what the Yidden did in Eretz Yisrael when they heard the Germans are coming? They said they want to commit suicide. Because the Germans did to people? There was no one like them. They outdid all the Rishayim. And Amaleki is like a class by himself. His riches, his Azorius. That's why don't feel so bad about the Ukrainians. They are known to be worse than the Germans. And during the war, they were in the German death. Anyway, Khmelnytsky, they still have a statue up there in Kiev. Khmelnytsky was worse than Hitler. There's Tachvatat, that was all him. Now, anyway, so you got to walk away from this whole Megillah with B.A. Mordechai for Pak the world. I got some Mizyanis yesterday. So I didn't like it. I'm going around. Baruch Hashem. The covered Reb Gershon Yotzai. I got Mizyanis. I feel so good. Today got some more Baruch Hashem. I have a long list of successes in my life. Mizyanis here, what?
Give us some examples of what
now the problem is like this. The Mizyanis that you think you're getting, somebody I wanted to say something, someone's giving a speech and it's not Bezyanis, Meshugana. It's Dimyain. You think it's Bezyanis. Because the guy, whatever. He didn't mean it. And he talks like that to everybody. Most Bezyanis is Dimyain, nice. Yeah, but you think you have Bezyanis. Sigarnished. You still have a kapara, by the way. Because in your Dimyan, it's Bezyanis, you get a kapara. And if it's Taka Bezyanis, which is rare, the guy really wants to be involved with you, stomach's nervous, so what? And if you work on yourself with Musar and you feel no pain, suck the alta from the body, you get the same kapara. Isn't that something? Any Bezyanis, it's a gold mine. It's the biggest kapara in the world. All your Averis in the garbage. You got Bezyanis, you should dance and sing. Okay, now, about the war. I want to tell you about the war. I'm telling you what to do. One thing is clear. The first thing you got to do about this war is say, "B'shvili nevra olam." I'm going to make a difference. My fellas, forget about. I did this last night. I says I couldn't go to sleep. I says, "Eibishter, I don't want one yid hurt, not one." And I repeated it again. And I never slept so good last night. So Yesh Darshim, David didn't want me to talk too much. That's not the real shot. Maybe she rewarded me. Rewarding you. You're being nice. You care for my Kindle. You have such an opportunity now. Daven your head off, Abish, to save those Jews. Make it your project. Be a Mordechai who feels achrayas for Klal Yisrael. And two things, I would say, daven your head off that nothing should happen. It's nishkefalach for all the Ukrainians get wiped out. That would be wonderful. Except I would like to be, it says that you have to be Mizara Shel Yosef to Yar Shel Rachel to have the schus to do that. These are Rishoyim. There's a problem. The world is crazy today. The president is Jewish. What's going on? The president of worse than Amalek is a Yid. Now, figure out. And by the way, Putin is punked in Eiv Yisrael. I feel very uncomfortable knocking him. He's an Eiv Yisrael. Putin said, right. And I had a svara that the reason why he's starting with the Ukrainians because they hurt the Jews. He's sticking up for us. I always see things positive. So Putin likes Jews. You know, there's a guy, I respect him tremendously. There's a Rav who's Putin's rabbi. Putin likes him, and he gets along with Putin. How's that? They love each other. A rabbi, he's happy with him, he's comfortable with him. One of these shaluchim over there, he's married, Putin loves him, best friends. It teaches you something. If you're a mensch, you know, there's so much pain going on in this world that's unnecessary because people don't have respect for each other. It says Esther Malka loved every human being in the world. That's why she was ready to be the Kanoya to wipe out. She played a nasty trick on Haman. You notice? She said, okay, let's make a party. And Haman was going wild. The queen even likes me, you know. And Safrelach, only me. And she said, now let's make another one. She was sneaky. Now, and then the next one, okay, now I'll get you. Boom! Haman Arazeh, get out of here! She was tough. And Mordechai, when he kicked Ein Shalom, when he stepped on Haman to get on the horse, what does Mordechai do? On the way up, Haman says, what are you stepping on me for? It says, Haman is giving a lamb. You know that. He knew Mishlei better than most. You see the psoy all over the place. He knows shame. You know. Anyway, so he said, you're different. It's a mitzvah to step on your head, you nobody. He wasn't scared of him. He was murdered. They were mean. I'll tell you why they were like this. The Mepharshim say they were a tikkun for a Shaul. Shaul was too soft. Oh, look at that gorgeous looking Agog. He's a melech. Look at blonde, this gorgeous looking Amaleki. How could I kill him? You can't be soft. There's a time to be tough. Reb Nelson used to speak like that. Everybody, yes, kill him. Chop him to pieces. I hope there's no guy listening. Listen to this. You ready? My Shver said, there was Kenish Verschnaden, anat auf 1000 Stücke, hat nicht kein Jiddisch Herz. I think you heard it from the Minchas Aluza. Die hat sich kein Jiddisch Herz. And that's why Mordechai was tough and Esther was tough. I kind of, that's why it says Avichayil every time. When she does something tough. It says Toikif, then she's putting call Avichayil. They're tough. And that's why it says on Mordechai, everyone loved them. It says on Esther, everyone loved her. What's that for? It doesn't say Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron. Where does it say? Put that to show that Emes Kanoi loves the whole world. And he wants to save the world from people that it's not, these are the Emes Kanoim. That's what, okay, anyway. But daven, the whole olam should do tshuva. I'm telling you, during the Gulf War, all I heard day and night was b'tachon. Nothing's going to happen. All the Rosh Yeshivas, they were talking b'tachon. Reb Chaim Kanevsky said everybody save the mass, the Gez mass, save it for Purim. They were laughing at it. Olam talk b'tachon, not talk fear. Abish is going to help. And while you're at it, ask for a tshuva shalema. They're all doing tshuva.